What's going on, guys? Today is Thursday, April 6th, 2017. My name is Max, and this is The Secret Life of a Wrestling Fan. Today, I want to talk about Smackdown that happened on Tuesday. Also, 205 Live and Talking Smack. Sorry, took me a little bit to. Been trying to get back in the game of watching wrestling, like, every day, and, work happens and all that nonsense. Anyways, I just finished watching Talking Smack, and now I got my head around everything. This is the Smackdown after Wrestlemania. Usually doesn't mean anything for Smackdown because the last few years there wasn't the draft. The draft has made it so they're now exclusive rosters, and this is the first SmackDown after WrestleMania that kind of means something. And it did. I felt like it delivered. Maybe not as much as Raw, but it delivered. The first thing that happened was Randy Orton came out, and he's like, "Hey, Bray, we're still doing this rivalry thing, right?" And it was a weird little promo. I didn't totally get it. I still don't. Randy Orton, the crowd wasn't totally behind him, it seemed. I don't know why. Randy's a great champion. Maybe it's because they want new people to be champion and aren't really seeing how good Randy could be. Because in ring, he's fantastic. I'll give you this, on the mic, he's not the best, but in the ring, he is golden, as is Bray Wyatt. So we'll see how that rivalry pays out. They did have a tag team match. It was Randy Orton and Luke Harper, which I still don't really care for because of his weird new attire that makes him look a little cleaner, and I don't see why. He's left the Wyatt family. He's fighting the Wyatt family. I just don't get it. It seems forced. I don't like it. Anyways, so those two took on the returning Eric Rowan and Bray Wyatt. Eric Rowan has this weird new mask. It's like a gas mask almost. But I didn't really care they came back. It wasn't like a good comeback story, which is sad because, he's a person. Like, he wants to be cheered just like any other superstar. But I just didn't feel it like I should. The tag team match went okay. Very clean match. Randy Orton wins. RKO. Blah, blah, blah. Nothing real big happening with that. Hopefully more heat comes because the next pay-per-view is Raw exclusive, so hopefully they can kind of build heat for the next SmackDown pay-per-view. We'll see. Next up was Alexis Bliss versus Naomi for the Women's Championship. So, Naomi won, right? So, she had the rematch with Alexa, which, contract, blah, blah, blah. I get my rematch clause. It was an okay match. I can't really remember a lot about it. It was not something like great. It wasn't like a pay-per-view quality match. It was just, hey, I'm still champ. Now that you've used your contractual match, like rematch, there's nothing. Like, it's setting up, to me it seems, for a new women's opponent, which I guess is good. You need more competition. You don't want the same person fighting the same person week after week. So, I don't know how I feel about that. I like Alexa as a top contender for the title, but hopefully something comes out of this. Maybe we'll see something big. Next up was the debut of Ty Dillinger, which, yay for him. Good job. He took on Kurt Hawkins. The crowd was real behind the 10, 10, 10. I think it's kind of weird. They count 10 for everything now. It's very distracting. I don't know how many times he punches people anymore. I don't know what the count is. It's so distracting. Anyways, he beat Kurt Hawkins. He did the tiebreaker, which it's an okay little thing. Next up, The Miz came out, dressed as John Cena. He was alright. He came out, he was like, "Hey, I'm John Cena. I'm leaving. I'm never coming back." I was like, I wish that was true, but you're just The Miz saying this. And then he gets interrupted by the debuting Shinsuke Nakamura. And the reason I'm not more excited about this is because there was no match. Like, yeah, he got his violin entrance and whatnot, and everybody loved it. The crowd went crazy, but there was no match. Now, he did have a match, like, not on Smackdown Live. It was like when taping stopped, and they were like, just have a match. Which, why? If you're not gonna have a match on the show, why just have a random one? It seems just mean. Come on, man, just give us a match. Anyways, him debuting's kind of cool. We'll see, I guess. Next up was a street fight, not for the title, with Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin. It was fine. Baron Corbin wins. A lot of weapons were used, and I guess that's more Dean's thing than anything. But I don't like Dean. I feel his character's so crazy, and it doesn't fit with the story of WWE. He's more of a just like nonsense character. Like, you should never speak, just attack people. But when he tries to speak and he has a daggone title and he's like trying to have like actual matches with people, I'm just not into it. He doesn't do it for me. But Baron Corbin wins. It wasn't for the title. Nonsense. Next up, Shane McMahon came out, and he's like, "Let's talk about this Superstar Shakeup." And before he could like tell anything about the Superstar Shakeup, AJ comes out, and he's like, "Hey man, you earned my respect." And they shook hands. He like faked a punch, and that was it. There was no more news about the Superstar Shakeup. It's a really annoying thing to say. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I guess it's the draft, basically, or is it? I don't know, cause no information. And after that was the tag team match we already talked about. Next up was 205 Live, which is only on the WWE Network. Yay! First match was Brian Kendrick, or the Brian Kendrick, versus Akira Tozawa. Brian Kendrick has a weird character right now. He's definitely a heel, and he's trying to give lessons to Akira Tozawa. Which, if you don't know who that is, he just goes for like the whole match. That's all he does. I heard him speak at the end of the match, and he's like, because he beat Brian Kendrick, he was like, "Lesson number one," and it was awful. Like, stick to the weird screaming you do. Next up was Rich Swann versus, what is his name? Oni Lorcan. I would never remember that. I had to write it down. That, it was an okay match. Rich Swann wins. Like I said, okay, clean match. Rich Swann wins pretty definitively. After the match, though, I guess Noam Dar, he's another cruiserweight guy, is dating Alicia Fox, who's been around for a while. And apparently him and Rich Swann have a thing, like a weird rivalry going on right now. I'm not really into it. I don't know much about it, but apparently Rich Swann is like sending flowers and chocolates and lingerie to his girlfriend, and it's weird. Why would you do that? That's real weird. You're probably just wasting money. She's probably happy, like she got anything, and she's just happy she's with a dude. I don't know why you're doing it, but whatever. Next up, some of the UK guys got recognized for what seemed like no reason. Like, they just brought them out. They were like, "Hey, these guys were in that UK tournament you watched a few months ago." They're like, "Oh, they sure were." And nothing happened. Next up, Neville came out, gave a weird promo about how he won his match and scratched out Austin Aries' eye. That was something. Didn't get interrupted. Thought it was dumb. He just went and he just talked the whole time. But, you know, good for him for winning at WrestleMania. Good job. Next up for the number one contendership was a fatal four-way with T.J. Perkins, Austin Aries. Who else was in this match? The gentleman, Jack Gallagher, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but he's real good. Anyways, Austin Aries wins. He's the new number one contender. It was a good match, though. It was a good match. Only a couple botches. But other than that, it was a good match. I still can't remember the dude's name. Anyways, Austin Aries wins. He does the thing. What is it called? The discus 5-arm. Dumb. It's a dumb name. They call it something better in the game. Anyways, Austin Aries wins. He gets the pin on T.J. Perkins, who was very good in the match. I feel he's back on the rise as a top contender with the cruiserweights, which already have a lot of top contenders. And I slurred a little bit. So I'm glad for that because he was the first cruiserweight champion, and I really do hope he gets it back at some point. 205 Live, it was okay. There's a reason it's only on the network. Next up was Talking Smack, which didn't tell me anything. Shane McMahon didn't give me any more information about the shakeup. And then the Usos came out, and they were like, "Hey man, why wasn't our tag team title when we defend it at Mania?" He's like, "Do you want to defend it next week against the American Alpha?" And they're like, "Sure." So I guess that match is like, this is happening next week, so we'll see a tag team championship match next week. Talking Smack, I'm not a big fan of, but I guess it's necessary for some information. We saw Naomi do an interview. She's so bad on the mic. I don't know why or what people see in her. People are all about, you deserve it. Like, does she though? Does she? Anyways, that's my thoughts on Smackdown 205 Live Talking Smack for April 4th, 2017. Let me know what you think in the comments. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends, and I will see you guys next time.